I was going into high school the last time there was a new one of these, and 4Runner enthusiasts, including myself, have been waiting around 15 years for a new 4Runner. The Sequoia, the Tundra, the Tacoma, all those came first, and they ride on the exact same platform as this new 4Runner. And just like those, there's a choice of a gas or a hybrid option, except for this one's a 4-cylinder. And new on the 4Runner, there's 9 trim levels to choose from. I'm Connor Hoffman with Capital One Auto Navigator, and we're here in Southern California to drive this new 4Runner off-road. And I'm gonna be done talking because I wanna go have some fun. So on the new 4Runner, you have the choice of 2 engines. There's the iForce and the iForce Max Hybrid. You get the iForce, which has 278 horsepower, and then you have the iForce Max Hybrid, which has 326 horsepower, but 465 pound-feet of torque. And if you're thinking that hybrid's like a Prius and you're gonna get, up to 50 miles per gallon, you're wrong. These hybrids are more meant for, filling in the power void from the missing V6, since this is a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. You are gonna get around 20 to 23-ish miles per gallon combined, according to Toyota, which is a slight improvement over the previous gen trucks. But like I said, it's really just to fill that power void. And one thing I'm really missing in these trucks that the 5th generation had was just that old school, 4Runner trucky feeling. This is just such a giant leap forward in terms of modern tech and stuff like that, where the old 4Runner just, really felt raw, and you kind of lose some of that with the hybrid, especially, and the turbocharged engine. You really hear that turbo a lot, actually, spooling up. You get that whistle when you're driving. But all these modern amenities just make this completely different. I mean, if you step in the old generation, the infotainment's dated, it's got analog gauges and all that. You step in here, you got a 14-inch screen, it's massive, Apple CarPlay, you got digital gauge cluster. It's really nice. But just like the previous gen trucks, I mean, you still have these huge knobby volume controls, which is really nice, and these nice, climate controls down here. And then the other cool thing is you can get an optional JBL speaker that comes out of the dashboard. When you're in 4 low and you hit the camera view button, the off-road cameras, they do stay on the whole time, which is really nice. So I can see, the sides of the truck, the front, and if I want, I can select a rear view, see what's behind me. And you got these little tire markers on here too, which are really nice. Now we're gonna drive on a little bit more technical terrain. I've got a little rock garden over here that we're gonna cross. And this TRD off-road has Bilstein shocks, and they have piggyback reservoirs in the rear, and they really feel really good when you're on some technical terrain like this, and especially when you're going a little bit faster on some dirt roads and some trails, you'll feel a little bit of a smoother ride as well. And this TRD off-road also has a locking differential and an available stabilizer bar disconnect for a little bit more articulation at the press of a button. Another great thing about these new trucks is the crawl control and the multi-terrain select functions are much improved. If you're going over some really technical terrain and you're not too confident modulating the pedals yourself, you can just use the low speeds of crawl control, and this new generation is just much, much quieter. I've been driving 4Runners for a long time now, and I can tell you that this new generation is a massive step forward in terms of livability, drivability, and just interior tech. Die-hard enthusiasts like myself definitely miss that old school raw, kind of truck-like feel of the older models. But you can't complain with having a 14-inch touchscreen and radar cruise control and really silent crawl control. Overall look of it too. I think these new Toyota trucks, the design language, they all kind of look similar, but they have their own kind of flair. The side profile looks a lot like the 4th generation model. You've got, the rear window glass kind of swoops up over the roof like the 1st generation. And it's a lot more closely related to the Tacoma than the previous generation truck. So this new 4Runner is a huge improvement over the last one. I do think though that some 4Runner enthusiasts will miss that old school raw feel of the old truck, but all these modern amenities like the interior, the massive touchscreen, the improvements to the off-road features like multi-terrain select, I think do definitely bring this into a wider range of buyers, and it just makes the 4Runner that much better.